Well, hello there. It is Friday, and that means another edition of Fashion Flair Friday. And I just want to apologize. I've missed you for, well, I guess it's been 2 weeks now. Last Friday was a little glitchy. I was not able to get on because we had a problem with our router. We couldn't connect to the internet. So, what we ended up doing, have you ever used a service or a software program called Thumbtack? I did a little research online and I thought, how are we going to figure out this problem? And I just started searching and I came across this thumbtack.com. And there you can go ahead and sort of put in what you're wanting a solution to or what you want help with, whether it's a painter or a gardener or a technical thing like we had. And you put your information in, you put some criteria in, and lo and behold, the software actually sends you a bunch of different connections. So, for us, it didn't matter where this person lived, we just needed help over the phone or somebody that could connect into our system. And so that was very easy. But if you have somebody that you need to have in your home, you can also give your, zip code, and lo and behold, they will send you a list of people as well as all the reviews for that individual so that you can solve the problem. So I am in love with this service now, and the gentleman that helped us actually lived in Florida. Wonderful service. He knew what he was doing. It was an hour of time. It cost us $70. We were thrilled. So, anyway, check out Thumbtack. But anyway, I am back this week, and being back this week, I have a feeling I'm not going to have anybody show up today because none of my email out this week because my assistant is on vacation. So I tried to do it, but was not successful. But I wanted to at least show up. You can certainly watch this on replay, as many of you do every week. And just always, as you know, let me know you're here or let me know that you are on replay when you are. So that would be great. So today, what I want to do is talk to you about something that's just a pretty common thing that I hear from women that usually before they've become my clients, when we talk ahead of time and they interview me and I interview them, we're always talking about, well, what are the frustrations? So I put it into the category is, why is dressing hard to do? And just think about it. As many of you know, I always say, if you're a woman that goes to her closet and you stop and you stare and you get frustrated because you can't figure out what to wear, well, think about it. How often does that happen to you? Is it something that occurs to you occurs every morning when you go to that closet door and you slide it open and you go, oh my goodness, there is too much stuff in here and nothing is making me happy? And when that happens, usually a few emotions come up. Frustration is usually the very first one. So, frustration or maybe confusion. There's so much in here, I don't even know where to begin. Or maybe a little anxiety. Boy, I have a lot of stuff in here. I've spent a lot of money, and yet still I have nothing to wear. Or in some cases, women will say to me, I actually feel kind of guilty. I've spent a lot of money on a lot of things in my closet, and for some reason, none of it is making me happy. So I think what ends up happening is women then say, okay, the solution is I need to go out and do more shopping for new clothes or for new items. And what I just like to remind you of is that that's not a fix to the problem oftentimes. So that can be a vicious cycle. So do any of you feel that way? Do you feel like for you it's a vicious cycle that, you can't figure out what to wear or you're not happy with what you have in your closet? So you run out and you buy something that you think will solve the problem. Hi, Sylvia. Good to see you. Welcome. All right. So, what I would like to just suggest is that adding more stuff could actually add to the problem. And what I'd like to do is give you some alternatives. So, the number one thing is when somebody says to me, I hate everything in here, I just want to get rid of it all, I would love to have a new wardrobe. You know, I want to say to you, you know what? There are great pieces in your closet. There truly are. But it could be that there's just too much other stuff that's getting in your way, too much other clutter that kind of clouds your ability to see what's in the closet or see new possibilities. I think clutter, I don't know about you, but it gives me sort of a brain freeze and it makes it hard to, be creative and put outfits together. So I think the very first thing you might want to do is look at what's in the closet and take a few minutes to edit out the things that you just know aren't serving you any longer. And we all have those things in our closet, or we did have those things in our closet at some point. Maybe they're, things that are sizes that, only with a huge answer to your prayer will you get into. So if you've got things that are more than one size on either way or the other of what size you are now, so if you're an 8 now and you've got 12s in your closet, then maybe you're going to want to get rid of those. Not maybe, get rid of those. Or if you're an 8 now and you've got size 4s in your closet, get rid of those as well. So that's a starting point. So thinning out that closet, I think, is a great way to really uncover the beautiful things that are there that you just haven't thought about working with. I think that could give you some inspiration. And we're coming up now on fall seasons. Fall clothes are starting to come into the stores. So rather than going out and buying new stuff, what I want you to do is clear out the things for fall that you don't want to carry forward and only keep the things that you're really committed to wanting to wear or that you're wanting to find new combinations for. So, how does that sound? All right, so that's number one. You know, I hate everything to wear. The answer is, or I hate everything in here. The answer is let's get rid of the stuff that is obvious that doesn't work for you. The second thing I hear is, well, you go to the closet and you open the closet and you see 6 or 7 pieces that still have the tags on them. Okay. And you say to yourself, I've made so many mistakes and I've wasted so much money. I hear that quite often as well. Well, what I want you to do is to not necessarily think that way. I'd like you to think a little bit differently and not think of them as necessarily mistakes, although they could be, but give yourself the opportunity to actually see if you can work those pieces in. You took the time to buy them, so how about now taking the time that they're in your closet and seeing, are there ways that I can utilize this piece being I bought it? So rather than making yourself wrong for having made the purchase, set aside some time to actually see if you can work that into a new outfit. So put it back on and then start trying some new things on with it. So maybe it's a pair of pants, and maybe that pair of pants still is fitting and you still like the color. Okay, so let's go ahead now and figure out what blouses or what tops do you have? Do you have a great pair of shoes that'll work with those pants? Do you have some sort of a jacket that will go over the top? Or do you have a great scarf that will tie the top and the pants together? So you see, being creative in your closet can actually be fun. And so just take 15 minutes to take one piece that has a hang tag on it that's never been cut off and see what you can do with it. All right, number 3 is, and I'm hearing this a lot, and maybe it's because of the age range of my clientele, and that is, I've got a lot of things in my closet that just aren't me anymore. Do you ever feel that way? Maybe you were a corporate woman and you have changed. You have either retired or you have taken some time off and are reevaluating what you want to do in your life. But it could be true. I mean, you may be buying clothes that aren't you anymore, because one of the things that I note is that we get into patterns, we get into habits, and we buy the same things that we used to be comfortable in, or that we used to buy because it fit our lifestyle very well. So our closet and the clothes in our closet really need to fit the lifestyle we have today. And what I want to say is that as you evolve in your life, your style needs to evolve with you. And that lifestyle, because it may have changed, then the clothes in the closet to support that lifestyle are likely going to change as well. So, a lot of my clients, of course, are beyond menopause. And so, one of the things I hear very, very often is, oh my goodness, my body is changing. I have a slightly different shape than I used to have. And I don't think I'm ever going to get back to that size that I used to be. So there is one situation where you say, okay, that is reality. So if the body has changed and what used to work for you no longer is working, then go ahead and get rid of the things that you've identified just aren't working. Maybe if you've got that little tummy now, you need to have a little more ease in the fabrics that flow over the tummy. You see what I'm saying? Or maybe the knit sweaters for fall are clinging a little too tight to the body, and you need a little more ease. So, yes, body changes are definitely not going to be you, or I should say, clothes that don't ease over the body changes aren't going to be you anymore, and time to get rid of those. Or maybe you have, or you are going through a divorce, or maybe you have been widowed and you've entered a new phase, which is called the single phase. And maybe you want to start dating again. Well, that is certainly a change in lifestyle, isn't it? So maybe you're not quite sure. You don't want to wear what you used to wear to work. You want to wear clothes that are a little softer, that are a little more casual in certain cases, and maybe a little something that would say, I'm available at this stage of life. So that is definitely a change, and making sure you have those pieces in your closet are important. If you're not sure what those pieces are, then obviously you can call me, contact me. You can sign up for a 30-minute free consultation, or you can check my website, powerful-presence.com, and see the services that I have that may fit right into helping you over this stage. Another thing that I'm seeing a lot of course, is the women that are actually retiring and are now the suits, the blazers, the jackets just aren't serving them anymore. Or if you do have a need for a few, that's great, but the bulk you don't need anymore. So what is that going to look like for you as maybe a grandma or as a community volunteer? What kinds of clothes do you need in your closet to really serve your lifestyle at this point in time? So you don't want to look like you did when you were a corporate executive or the owner of your company. You want to be who you are now. So I just want to suggest to you to really think about this and really look at your closet with this in mind. I also think it's really important to think about where you shop now versus where you used to shop. So if things aren't serving you like they used to, then having new resources available to you and knowing where to shop is going to be very important, because you want to live out your life feeling great about how you look and looking in the mirror and saying, I like what I see. So just know that I'm always here to support you. And any professional style coach will do the same for you, because we have many years of, working with women with all different shapes and sizes and ages and personalities and professions. And so, no two people do I ever recommend dress the same way. I bring all of those things forward, put all of that together, and then start making recommendations for you. Now, you may say, well, I'd really like to learn how to do this for myself, Marion. And so I just want to remind you that my Empowered Style to Call Your Own program is starting next week on August 18th. And I do have a few spots still available. So you can go to powerful-presence.com/empowered style and check out the program and join me. And I'll make you one little offer. If you've been sitting on the fence and thinking about this, but didn't sign up, there was an early bird registration and that has passed. However, for this particular group here, my Empowered Style group, if you would like to still join us and sign up, I will still go ahead and honor that $500 early bird discount. And all you have to do when you go to the cart is to put the code August 2022, August in all caps 2022, and you will get the $500 discount. So, I love to work with women that like to do things for themselves. They like to have the education, they like to have the knowledge, they like to be empowered to really take charge of their style and take charge of their closet. So just think about, could this program help you to get where you want so that you don't have to go to the closet every single morning and face the frustration, face the guilt, face the anxiety, or face the frustration and confusion? So that is it for this week. Let me just look and see whether I have any questions. Betty says, I'd like to rearrange clothes on the rod and hang pieces next to one another that I'm considering wearing together. I can see if the colors work with one another. Absolutely, that is also a great idea, but it goes beyond that. It really goes beyond making sure that the proportions of the pieces, when you put them together, are really going to flatter the body and the proportions that you have too. So color, style, personality. Let's see, what did I say? Style, personality, the color, knowing the proportions, knowing the fabrics and the patterns, knowing how to choose your accessories. All of these, I say, pillars go together to actually build impactful outfits. And those are all the different facets, the 7 pillars that we actually learn about, and not only learn about, but actually play with and share with one another in this program. So this program is a very interactive program. It is really cohorts, supporting one another and offering advice to one another, as well as me offering all the support you need and the advice and the comments on how I think you could up-level the look or what you could change to make the shift. So thanks, Betty, for certainly sharing that about color being so important, color working with one another. Yeah, you can't beat that. And color is, I know you know your colors, although I do notice that you have started to let your hair go natural, and the gray is coming. So the softening down of your coloring, also take a look at that, because as we go gray, things have to change in the closet. So any final questions? I don't see any. So with that, I'm going to sign off for this week and say that I'll see you back here next Friday for another edition of Fashion Flair Friday. Take care now. Bye-bye.